Welcome to the Difference Quotient Part 2. If you are interested in an introductory video for the Difference Quotient, I recommend that you watch Part 1 first, because in Part 2 we are going to dive right in to first doing the function composition, thinking of x plus h as your g of x. So we're going to do f of g of x first. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to replace every x I see with x plus h. So this becomes x plus h squared minus 3 times x plus h plus 1. And then we are going to subtract our f of x, our original function, and we're not going to forget to use parentheses, so minus, and then x squared minus 3x plus 1, and then of course that is all over h. And here's where we get to simplify. Alright. So I am going to distribute this negative 3, I'm going to distribute this subtraction, and I'm also going to square this binomial. So if you need help with squaring a binomial, I do have a video on that I recommend you go ahead and watch. I'm going to go ahead and just square this. So that becomes x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. This is a minus 3x minus 3h plus 1. This is now a minus x squared, a positive 3x, and a minus 1. All over h. Alright, and here we look for ways to simplify. I do see I have a positive x squared and a negative x squared. That makes 0. Looks like I've got a negative 3x and a positive 3x. That also makes 0. A 1 and a negative 1. That also makes 0. And then it looks like that's all I've got to cross out. So this becomes 2xh plus h squared minus 3h all over h. I noticed that all of these terms have an h in them, so if it's helpful to you, you can factor out an h if that makes it easier to see how to handle this. This would be 2x plus h minus 3 over h, and that h over h is just 1, so we can just go ahead and cross that out. And so our final answer is 2x plus h minus 3. Alright, so same idea. Now we're going to do it for negative 2x squared minus 15. So I am going to start by doing my function composition. So negative 2, replace the x in x squared with x plus h squared, and then you've got your minus 15. Minus the original function in parentheses, so that we make sure we can distribute that subtraction, all over h. So I am going to distribute this subtraction here. Alright, so when we have a coefficient in front of a binomial squared, you want to think about your PEMDAS, your order of operations, which says we need to do exponents before we do multiplication. So I'll square this first, and then I'll distribute that negative 2. So I already did this earlier, but this was x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. That minus 15 is still there, and then this becomes a positive 2x squared and a positive 15 all over h. Okay, so I have an extra distributing step here. This negative 2 needs to distribute. I can already see that this negative 15 and this 15 are going to cancel, so I'll do that. So this is a negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared plus 2x squared all over h. So that minus 2x squared and that positive 2x squared are going to cross out. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and immediately factor out the h from both of those. So that's now a negative 4x and a minus 2h over h. And then that h over h does indeed cancel out. So h over h is 1. So you're left with negative 4x minus 2h. As usual with my videos, go ahead and pause here. Press play when you are ready to check your answer and see the solution. Good luck!